African people are taking over the Essence Festival with the intentions of selling African culture and heritage, okay? They're trying to sell Black people African culture and African heritage. They really feel like that we are lost and we are confused on where we come from. The enslavement of African people lasted for 400 years, over 400 years, okay? There's nobody on this earth who's going back 400 years finding relatives and trying to figure things out from 400 years ago. It's purposeless, right? My ancestors came from St. Helena, South Carolina. Just to let y'all know. And it's a lot of information on my great grandparents and my great uncles and great aunts. And it's a lot of, it's Black excellence, okay? And they try to push this narrative from now to slavery or the enslavement of African people. And that's not how that works. The enslavement of African people lasted over 400 years. Within probably 200 years of the enslavement of African people, the African American race started to begin because of the violence that enslaved Africans were enduring. But let's not take away from the fact that African American people have been around for a very long time. Stop telling us to go back to Africa. If you want to try to come in and colonize, be new generation colonizers, I just think that y'all should sell something that Black people are wanting and willing to buy. Stop thinking that we are insecure about our culture. Our culture is recognized all over the world. Without African American people, there wouldn't even be the culture in Africa. While y'all are hooting and hollering on y'all drums and bingos and shit, we are the reason why the advancement is happening in Africa. We are the reason. We are the culture. We are the voice. We are the celebration. We are the color. Without African American people, there would not be a lot of color in this world. Let's be very fucking honest here. Stop disrespecting African American culture. You can't sell us African culture. We don't want to buy it.
Keep non-Black Americans away from things that are for Black Americans. Why is there a Jollof versus Jambalaya competition at Essence Fest?
Because this is the owner of Essence Fest. And as you can see, he was born in Liberia. That's not Mississippi. That's a country in Africa. Okay? Again, this is the CEO of Essence Fest. And unfortunately, she is not from Delaware. She is from Kenya, which is also a country in East Africa.
Why are there African and Caribbean vendors at Essence Fest?
Because it was originally created by you guys. You know, you created a space for yourself, but then you sold it. You gave it away. Sold it to African people. So now you can't pick and choose who can come into that space because it's no longer yours. You sold it. That's kind of how the law of ownership works. And one thing about Africans, they're going to bring a Caribbean in every fucking time they can because we cousins, we locked in. So of course we going to be there.
If Caribbeans and Africans want to have an event that's as big as Essence Fest, they can go create it.
Now, why exactly would we do that when you lot have already created the space and sold it for us to use? That's kind of like buying a house and choosing to sleep outside. Don't make no fucking sense.
And for the Black Americans that have an issue with other Black Americans having pride in being a Black American, where is your racial self-esteem at? Why is it so low? What the hell is going on?
I don't think it's them with the self-esteem issue. I think it's you. Just stay at home. Anyway, shout out to all the African Americans that just fuck with everybody. Everybody fuck with you niggas too. Yeah, let us be outside. Let us enjoy. Good night.
Essence Fest is whack and washed now because it's run by a bunch of Africans. There is no Black American culture that is reflected in Essence Fest anymore. Essence's CEO is an African. The chief, I don't know, one of their chief top level executives and officers is an African. The person that owns Essence Ventures is an African. So what used to be a celebration of Black American culture, the culture that is ours, the culture that we built from the ground up, the culture that Black Americans influenced the world through, has now been co-opted by some African diaspora, Pan-African, whatever, and a lot of Black people are just not feeling it. Now, I went to Essence Fest for the first time a couple of years ago. I think it was like Nicki Minaj, New Edition, and Janet Jackson were the headliners. It was absolutely incredible. It was a celebration of Black Americanness. There were Black people in and up and through it. It was a pure celebration of Black American culture and Black American heritage. But now that it's been co-opted by a bunch of Africans, it seems that nobody cares because they don't set culture for this world. We do. And until Essence Fest gets back to the Black Americans who created it and founded it and lead the culture, it will continue to fail with those Africans in charge.
Essence Fest. That lady got up there on that podium and she said, yes, motherland, Africa. It came from Africa. The blankly disrespect. I don't know about y'all, but Black Americans is tired of being the bottom of the totem pole. We give you culture, you take it, you run with it. You know what I do respect about BET though? BET says Black excellence. It always do in their commercials, Black excellence. And I always wondered, like, why do they just say Black excellence? And now I understand why, because you can't intertwine the two. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never woke up and said, let me play some African music. I've listened to people from Africa who have beats and they sing as if they're Americans. You don't need no other body. But I'm not waking up just listening to no African music. The problem is everybody from every other continent literally comes to America and disrespects us. And you even got some Africans on here saying that they were taught to come over here to disrespect us. Like as if we're bugs or something. I believe that. Everybody talking about they returning home to Africa, but this is your home. Even the ancestors fought to stay here because they were never from Africa. Like, who have jollof rice and they want to have a standoff? Like, who can cook this rice better than you? Like, who does that? I never ate that and don't want to. It's just like the Chinese, how y'all go to these Vietnam nail shops and they cuss you out. Africans do the same thing. People from other countries, Black people, do the same thing. And the crazy part is they don't even claim Black until it's time to benefit from it. Civil rights. I just say forget the whole thing, because even though the man from the Essence Fest, you know, the CEO, he is literally from Liberia. So of course he was going to turn it into his culture for his people. But everything we have for us, everybody always takes it. Fucking sad shame. So anyway, it ended up empty. Not many of us was there. And when I think about it, without us, they don't have no energy. Stop giving all these energy. We are the culture. We are the divine. We are the energy. Something they don't have. They don't even know how to set up. Just take. You got people from the Caribbeans, no disrespect, trying to say that reparations belong to them. But okay, do it in your country. Why you got to take it from ours? The British colonies, they the ones that did this shit. We're not a part of France. If no one can respect us in our country, stay out of their restaurants, stay out of their braiding shops, stay out of their nail shops. The end. See how life can be so simple? Stay out of everybody's establishments until they start respecting us. Don't matter what race, color, or creed you are. Amen? Amen. And the icing on the cake, the disrespect is so loud to the point even white people, like, they tired of it for us. Now that's sad.
So now Africans and Caribbeans are calling Black Americans xenophobic once again for not approving of the Essence Festival because they co-opted it, or a person that represents them co-opted it and only prioritized African heritage and lineage, which that's not what Essence Festival was all about in the first place. But yet again, that's just another thing of people basically over-centering themselves in what we created and what we cultivated. You feel me? Calling us xenophobic, saying that we don't appreciate shit. But it's completely okay for them to say whatever the hell they want 365 days out of the year about Black Americans. People crying on the internet. I think I seen somebody on live getting mad because it's actually an African was saying that, hey, Black Americans are one of the most successful Black ethnic groups in the world. And then you got the Caribbeans being mad like, that's not a fact, that's not a fact. Yes, that's a fucking fact, okay? If that wasn't a fact, you wouldn't have people from all these developing countries mass migrating to the United States. The number one Black ethnic group in the United States is Black Americans in the country where they're from. We are from the United States, and we make up the majority of Black people in this country. And we are an ethnic group from the Western world, all right? So that means that our dollar stretches far beyond any other developing country. So we are one of the most successful Black ethnic groups in the world. That is a fucking fact, and people need to get the fuck over it. I'd rather you ignore that than to say that it's not true. Y'all ignore everything else, but don't dare say that that's not fucking true. You feel me? My people didn't fuck with the Essence Festival. Get the fuck over it, G. It is what it is.
As a Black American, I wholeheartedly believe that we should have our places and our spaces to celebrate our culture. And I don't think anybody should have a problem with that, especially all that we've been through in the United States and what it is that represents for the rest of the world. It is okay for us to have cultural pride. And also, there can be a lot of things that we can be angry about when it comes to Essence and Essence Fest. However, I think we need to redirect that anger inward. Because if we are saying that we need these cultural spaces and places, that we take pride in who we are and our things, then we can't sell it. Black culture, and specifically Black American culture, has been commodified and monetized, and we have allowed that to happen. We have had our things, and then we have sold it to the highest bidder. And folks often tout the game is to be sold and not told, but maybe we need to start telling with the selling. Whether it's the selling of BET or Essence Magazine, there was never any fine prints when it came to the selling of these institutions saying that we needed to keep the cultural identity of those particular platforms. And since we don't own it, how then can we dictate what's done with it? So as a community, if it means that much, you got two options. Either don't go or put your coins together. Because a lot of y'all are saying that you liked it prior to African ownership and leadership. But it was owned by the white man.
After we're done crying about Essence Festival, we're going to cry about BET, that is currently owned by a white man. Oh, I don't think we're going to cry about that because it's a white man that owns it, and that's fine. It's okay for white folks to own anything, but God forbid if an African or a non-African American that is Black should own or participate in anything that has anything culturally to do with an African. But it's okay for a white person to own something built entirely on a Black label, something that was founded by a Black man. Just like South Africans are okay with the white people taking away their land. White people make up maybe 10% of South Africa, but they own all the lands. And the Blacks are okay, but they will go and destroy the shop of a Nigerian. They will go and destroy the shop of a Zimbabwean. They will destroy the shop of somebody from Tanzania. Provided it's a Black person that owns it, they will not tolerate it. But if it's a white man that owns it, that it's okay. Do you guys see the systematic cooking going on in our brains? It's not just happening in the African American community. It's happening in South Africa too. It's okay if it's owned by a white person, but the moment it's owned by a Black person, you tear it down. We cooked. We're never getting out of the trenches. Drink water and mind your business. This is so funny.